The Anchorpoint hybrid is a non-canon Xenomorph hybrid. It features in the unproduced screenplay for William Gibson's unused script for Alien 3. This particular creature had very unique origins, something akin to the creation of the newborn Xenomorph from Resurrection. So, today I wanted to explore, in this species series episode, the origin of this strange creature, and the little information we know about it. So like I stated before, this hybrid is named the Anchorpoint hybrid, for its location of its inception. It was a very unique Xenomorph indeed. This creature was the direct result of genetic tampering of the Xenomorph genome by scientists at the Anchorpoint station. During the progression of the story, the scientists aboard the station attempt to study the process by which the Xenomorph's pure DNA interacts inside the host organism's body to eventually create a Xenomorph embryo. They artificially introduce a near pure strain of Xenomorph DNA from samples they had recovered from the Sulaco after the Union of Progressive Peoples had discovered it, drifting through their aerospace. The scientists tried their best to isolate this Xenomorph genetic code. However, difficulties with this task was high, as the reactivity of the Xenomorph's pure DNA strain was just as high, with literally any other alien DNA, including that of humans, quickly wanting to bond with it. Once they achieved the ability to separate this DNA and keep it in a near pure state, they performed a controlled experiment, where they were shocked at the rapid speed at the recombinant reactions occurring. They exposed the DNA of the Xenomorph to a pure strain of human DNA and watched the magic happen. It was nothing like they could have ever imagined. The two samples of DNA looked nothing alike separately, and likewise, after their recombinant reaction, they looked like something new entirely. Nothing like the two originals. Very alien indeed. While you would think that this process would make for a more refined Xenomorph form, it proves not to be the case, and there may be factors missing from this reaction or things added as compared to what happens within a host organism and a facehugger during the impregnation and embryonic development phases of the Xenomorph's regular life cycle. To the surprise of everyone involved, the samples began to grow at an alarming rate, absorbing what nutrients it could from its artificial surroundings provided to it by the scientist known as Tully. The new hybrid DNA develops into a miniature version of an Ovomorph. It continued to rapidly grow until its container could not hold it any longer, and it burst free from its containment. The ovomorphic type creature was capable of releasing a collection of spore-like and immensely powerful mutagens, similar in a lot of ways to the engineer's biological accelerant and the motes of the neomorph creature. Two individuals, including the scientist Tully, were exposed to the spores that rapidly went about multiplying inside the host and infecting every cell and biological crevice of these hosts. Eventually, one of the hosts, known as Wells, succumbs to the affliction as her body entirely begins to violently mutate before the eyes of her bewildered crowd. Her head rapidly grows in size, her bones and flesh form into greyish, solid exoskeletal structures, and what is not used is shed from the new horrific mass in a terrifying display of biological metamorphism. At first glance, this creature looks much the same as a regular Xenomorph, standing around the same general height of about 8 feet tall, but on closer inspection, you might notice some key differences. The creature's exoskeleton is more organic, fleshy, and softer than that of a Xenomorph XX121. The creature possesses 2 beady red eyes and 2 slits for a nasal cavity on the surface of its dome and not hidden underneath like in regular Xenomorphs. The dome itself is actually almost completely transparent as well, revealing the inner workings of the hybrid skull. Its fingers were also much more similar to that of the hands of humans as opposed to that of the classic Xenomorph fingers that are usually held together with connective tissues. It even produces different sounding vocalizations than that of the regular Xenomorph. The creature's primary form of reproduction, it seems, was to pass an infection that transformed it from human to hybrid by wounding a potential host. It would then act to pass this infection through some bodily fluid of some kind, likely its saliva or resin secretions, into the body or preferably the bloodstream of the new potential host, so that the process could begin anew in its new form. In this way, the hybrid did not seek to entrap or cocoon its victims when given the opportunity, instead opting to create bloody wounds in which it could pass the infection to let the mutagens do their work. This is seen in the story when the hybrid attacks an unsuspecting personnel of the station, biting down on his leg and leaving a massive flesh wound, only to quickly scurry away, content with its job well done. And surely enough, not much time passes before the individual suffers much the same fate as the ill-fortuned Wells. One of the infected, Tully, was actually able to stop his complete transformation by venturing into the Anchorpoint facility's locker area of AG-28. This area was for cold storage and sub-zero temperatures existed there. Here, his transformation was halted as he froze in place. It is likely for this extreme metamorphosis to occur, the body needs to generate a lot of heat to act as a catalyst for the chemical reactions going on. I'm guessing by starving the reactions of the catalyst, Tully was able to completely halt the process, making the ultimate sacrifice simultaneously in order to stem the spread of this infection. The first and last of its kind died when the hybrid encountered that of the true Xenomorph XX121, its cousin. When meeting face to face, the true Xenomorph opted to immediately attack, dismember, and kill the Anchorpoint hybrid. Why this occurred is unknown to us. It has almost certainly got something to do with the Xenomorph not recognizing this hybrid as one of its own kin, sensing something off about this creature. And when confronted with a room full of humans and this hulking nightmare, the Xenomorph XX121 decided to eliminate what it saw as the greatest threat to its hive first and foremost, before dealing with the easier prey. Perhaps the Xenomorph was able to even sense, somehow, the impurity of the gestation process of the hybrid, and seek to prove itself dominant over its lesser abomination. This creature was a remarkably interesting one to say the least, and there is still a lot of unknowns about how exactly it came about, as well as what it might have eventually become had the creature lived longer and created some kind of hive all its own. If it even decided to create a hive in the first place. But as this creature is not only not canon, but a thrown away concept, it's sad to say that we will likely not be seeing it again anytime in the foreseeable future. Before I go, I wanted to let you know about the ACHERON Colonial Marketplace, the one-stop shop for all Project ACHERON merch. Here you can pick up shirts, hoodies, mugs, phone cases and more. So if you want to support the channel and look good doing it, pick up some ACHERON merch. But what other videos would you like to see? If you have any ideas or have any questions, please leave them in the comments or contact me through Twitter or on the Project ACHERON Discord. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and share this video. And if you want to really help see this channel thrive and grow, as well as gain a bunch of awesome rewards for yourself, consider becoming a patron, such as Christopher Dasinger and Ambrosia, leaders of the Project ACHERON Hive. I hope to see you all here again very soon, but until then, this is Project ACHERON signing off.